The music industry, full of glamorous stars and thrilling performances, can also be grueling for the musicians themselves, sometimes even with tragic consequences. A 2024 MusiCares survey revealed that over 8% of respondents within that industry had serious thoughts of suicide in the past year. That is notably higher than the 5% rate among the general population. Senior arts correspondent Jeffrey Brown reports from Park City, Utah, on a side of the music world that is starting to get more attention. It's for our ongoing coverage of the intersection of health and arts, which is part of our Canvas series.
The sound of music in the mountains, the band on stage in a gorgeous setting, a happy crowd. In many ways, the quintessential summer music festival. But listen to some of the stories we heard.
It feels like extreme highs and extreme lows. I feel full of gratitude and I feel extremely overwhelmed.
You need help. Without people helping me back then, especially the first year, I would not be here.
The problem that we were seeing was that we were losing music industry folks to addiction and suicide.
People you knew?
People that I knew, yes.
The Park City Song Summit in Utah had plenty of music over 3 days, headlined this year by bands such as Goose and Dawes. But here the emphasis was also on mental health and wellness. An array of alcohol-free drinks at night, IV drips and B12 shots in the afternoon, yoga, meditation, and song baths for a positive start to the morning.
Good friends, one after the other.
But things also went deeper, sometimes darker. Grammy nominee Marcus King, here with chef and TV host Andrew Zimmern, talked openly about the common pressures of their two industries and the toll taken.
I was really going to check out, that was my plan, was I got an old car, I got a garage, so I exit stage left, here we go.
King was able to turn things around and help others through his foundation, destigmatizing addiction and mental health struggles.
Just making that first leap, asking somebody for help, it doesn't make you look weak, it's quite the contrary.
These sessions are called labs. One signal, says Song Summit founder Ben Anderson, that this festival is different.
Yeah, we're getting the chemistry together in there, and we're getting people in the same room in an intimate setting where their personalities and their heart and their spirit can come together, and they can be vulnerable and very transparent about things like mental health, about chemical dependency, about trauma, or maybe about their songwriting process, or why they wrote a particular song, what drives them, what inspires them, what scares them.
Things that they don't often get to talk about.
Right.
If anybody wants a check-in,
counselors like Keith Fairman made themselves available to support groups no matter how small. Behind-the-scenes gatherings of audience members in recovery, even amid the performance stages.
I may be sober.
And for musicians, roadies, and others in the industry.
I'm standing there.
A chance to check in, talk with peers who share, without stigma, the hard knowledge of addiction and life on the road.
Welcome to Earth. Glory and strife.
I lost everything. I lived in the park, homeless, penniless, careerless, everything, yeah.
Amazement and horror will carve out your life.
Now 59 and 17 years sober, Swedish-born New Orleans-based blues rocker Anders Osborne says he survived his drug and alcohol addiction and found a way forward as a touring musician through the help of friends. And he's paid it forward, creating an organization called Send Me a Friend, a database that allows working musicians wherever they are to ask someone to simply come sit nearby during a performance, just as his friends first did for him.
So I played, and they kept people away, drug dealers, people that brought me shots or whatever, all this stuff. This is within the first year, 6 months into my sobriety. And I remember looking over and going, I'm working. I felt accountable. I'm not partying. My tribe's here. I'm good. Not just feeling safe, but knowing why I'm there. I'm not there for any other reason than to entertain these people.
You found a way to continue as a musician, as a creative person, while in recovery.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, still?
Not that I want to use, but it's sometimes there are conversations I don't want to have with people that are high or intoxicated. That's part of, the scene. So you have to find an attitude and be accepting of that as part of my job. For me, I have to meditate prior to the show. I have to be prepared for what's coming.
Pressure's old and some new. Today's music industry revolves around new technology and business models, as well as always-on social media. Hillary Gleason heads a nonprofit called Backline.
The pressure to be responsive to fans, to be on, to be showing them, behind the scenes of your life. I think certainly technology has impacted in that way, but also the rise of streaming platforms and the changing in the revenue models of the music industry have made it so that more and more folks have to go on tour to make a living, and touring is incredibly challenging.
Backline helps musicians and those working with them find a variety of services, including on-the-road wellness and therapy support. And Gleason is seeing growing awareness of the need for an industry-wide approach.
Labels, we got you, but do you got us?
One notable moment came at this year's Grammys, when pop star Chappell Rowan accepted her award for Best New Artist and called on music labels to offer artists health insurance, including mental health services. But she's doing that as a star, right? So if you're starting out, you can't go to your record label and say, give me health insurance.
You can't, but you may be approached by several record labels, and it's the defining difference for some artists now in choosing where to sign. Just over the past year or two, we've started to see people make this actually a line item in their touring budgets.
One artist working into the late hours at Song Summit, electronic dance DJ and producer LPGOB. Whose Go All Night globe-trotting life, one night here in Utah, the next in Spain, would leave anyone gasping for breath and a bit of sanity.
My name is LPGOB, and
at Song Summit, she also took the time to offer a master class to young musicians. Like everyone we met here, LPGOB spoke of those who didn't survive. In her world, it was the phenomenally successful Swedish DJ Avicii, who took his life in 2018 at age 28.
So I thought a lot more would change after Avicii. There was a lot of talk about mental health, and but I don't know if much did.
I believe she played some 300 shows last year.
She's had her own struggles, living her dream in a very competitive field, especially, she says, for women, but always feeling on the edge of losing it and more. She now works with Hillary Gleason of Backline.
I've used the resources to find an amazing therapist and psychiatrist and wellness coach, and I find different breathwork instructors in every city, and that's been a lifeline for me right now, like just breathing. And if I was going to talk to somebody who's starting out on this journey, protect your peace at all costs.
Small personal steps, and at one small music festival. Bud says Song Summit's Ben Anderson with outsized impact. Still, this is a small gathering.
Yes.
A few thousand people.
Yes.
Doesn't change all that much in the larger music world.
Here's what I would say to that. Do you know how many people have come to me and said either their artist, someone in their camp, or an audience member has gotten the help that they needed? That never impacts just one person. It's dozens of people. So my mentality is never like, well, it's not big enough. It's we will have enough impact to where it will be bigger.
For the PBS News Hour, I'm Jeffrey Brown in Park City, Utah.